Hello ji, assalamu alaikum. So once again, I welcome you all, CS by SS. So today we will be talking about data transmission. It's chapter number 2 from O level Cambridge Computer Science 22-10. So आज के हमारे objectives होने वाले हैं in the first section we will be talking about types and methods of data transmission. In the second video, we will be talking about methods of error detection, and the third but last but not the least about encryption. Data transmission. Data transmission basically is the process of transferring data from one place to another. मतलब बस डाटा को आपने कैसे एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे ट्रांसफर करना है, it's just this process. Now, there are three factors needs to be noticed when you are transferring your data. The first one is direction, second is method, and third, how will the data be synchronized. राइट मतलब उसकी डायरेक्शन क्या होगी, कौन सा मेथड यूज करेंगे और किस तरह से वो जो है ना सिंक्रोनाइज्ड होगा. So these factors usually considered by our communication protocols. What is communication protocols? We will be talking about in detail in this video. So get okay. So what are the packets? So first of all the data जितना भी हमारे पास होता है in computer science, in computers, we have to transfer from one place to another. उसको हम लोग different packets में divide करते हैं, right? Information on the internet is broken down into packets and are created by TCP and transmitted over the internet. So packet एक small chunk of piece of data होता है which will be transmitted from one place to another and through the TCP. TCP stand for Transmission Control Protocol. ये एक protocol है, set of rules हैं which we have to follow when we are transferring our data from one place to another. So that small chunk of data are easier and quicker to route over the internet than big chunks of data. Definitely management of smaller chunks is easier than the larger chunks, right? So routing involves finding the best or most optimal method or path over the internet. So data can be include anything like text, audio, images, video, animation, any combination of these. So packet structure क्या होता है? In the packet structure we have three things. This all together called packet, but packet is divided into three categories. Header होता है, then payload, and then trailer. In the header section we have source IP, destination IP, packet number, size of the packet. मतलब source क्या होगा, header क्या होगा, packet का number कौन सा है और size कितना है, ये तमाम information हम store करते हैं header में. Then payload is basically the actual data. And in the trailer part, we are going to enter some identification end of the packet that कोई हमारा data change तो नहीं हुआ, if there is any error occur. So we have to find out that thing, we have to find out something in the trailer ताकि हमारे पास जो receiver end पे हम लोग उसको verify कर सकें कि हमारा data change हुआ है या नहीं हुआ. So header consists of these four parts. Payload is actual data, it's usually 64 KB, and in the trailer section we have a method to identify errors, error checking, or we can identify the end of packet. Okay, so packet switching involves basically routers. Routers already know where nearby router is closer to the destination device. Then router can see and decide to send a packet from a different route than that avoid traffic. Packet from the same message can take different routes from the sender to the receiver and may arrive in different orders. The receiver computer reassembles the packet by reordering the packets using the packet number. So breaking down a file into a packets and sending these packets down different routes over the internet. So basically होता क्या है कि हम लोग कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन को जब पैकेट्स में डिवाइड करते हैं तो वो डिफरेंट रूट्स को लेते हुए हमारे पास सेंडर से रिसीवर के पास जाता है. इट मे कैन बी अपीयर इन डिफरेंट ऑर्डर्स, बट जब हमारे पास रिसीवर के पास वो पैकेट आता है तो रिसीवर उस पैकेट को अगेन रीअसेंबल करता है इन द सेम ऑर्डर टू मेक अ मीनिंगफुल मैसेज. Packet switching allows for the original message, which has been broken down into smaller parts, to be reassembled in the correct order or assembled together like a jigsaw once all of the packets have been received. Routers contain routing tables which keep track of nearby routers like a map or contact list. If a packet doesn't reach its destination, the receiver can send a resend request to the sender to resend the packet. So basically these are three packets in different three colors, green, blue and red, and router is going to decide that which packet will take which route. But when it will be received in the receiver server, so it will again be reassembled in the same order to read the message. Advantages of packet switchings are interference and corruptions are minimal. It saves times and internet bandwidth. It's quicker than sending a large packets. It's harder to hack an individual's data. There are multiple methods of transmission. Where sometimes we are using wired, sometimes we are using wireless, and sometimes we are using fiber optics. And if we are using wires, so we can use copper and fiber optics wire. There are two types of wired communication: serial and parallel. In parallel serial transmission, one bit is sent at a time across a single wire. Through single wire, we can send a one bit. Transmission is synchronous as all bits arrives in the same order because we are sending in the same order. एक ही वायर में एक एक बिट जाएगी. So transmission will be synchronous. In parallel transmission, multiple bits are sent at the same time over several bits. Transmission will be asynchronous because multiple bits are sending through different wires. See, we have 7 to 8 wires over here. हर वायर के ऊपर एक एक बिट एट अ टाइम जा रही है. So definitely it's fastest, but definitely it's asynchronous. It means that data can be skewed और skewing का प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है. मतलब हो सकता है मुझे थर्ड वाली बिट पहले रिसीव हो गई हो और पहली बिट मुझे 7-8 पॉइंट पे रिसीव हो गई हो. बट इन सीरियल इट्स synchronous, but it's slow. So the main problem is faced in parallel transmission is skew or synchronization error. This is happens when we are transferring multiple bits in a parallel transmission will have slightly different properties. This will means that each signal will travel at a slightly different speed, therefore arriving at their destination at different times. So this is happening. See, there are multiple wires, and definitely according to the bandwidth or the speed of our signal, we can these signals can be sent in a different time slots. So that's why this queue problem can be arise during the parallel data transmission. There are multiple scenarios where we are using serial and parallel transmission. When we are connecting an external hardware drive to a computer, we are using serial, then transferring data over a telephone line, it's also serial. But transferring data from computer to printer using multi-wire connected is a parallel data transmission. Then we have different modes, or maybe you can say the directions of the data transmission: simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. Simplex is a unidirectional. Data will travel in only one direction. It will never go in the other direction. Half duplex, bidirectional, but can travel in both directions, but not at the same time. Full duplex, bidirectional, and in both direction at the same time. See, this is simplex, this is half duplex. We can send and receive data, but not at the same time. That's why these two wires are separate. Then full duplex, we can send and receive at the same time. So there are different examples we can use. We are actually using. For the simplex, best example is computer to a printer. And modern versions of devices such as printer may send acknowledgement signals to confirm they have received the data. This may require half duplex rather than a simplex connection. Then half duplex phone conversation when only one person needs to speak at a time. A walkie-talkie is a two-way radio with a push-to-speak button. This receiver is turned off while the transmitter is turned on. This prevents you from hearing the other person while you speak. Then full duplex phone conversation, like today we are talking, when we are talking, other person can also talk. Then bandwidth connection as well. Wires combination. So we have two wires combination and we have three modes: serial simplex, serial half duplex, serial full duplex, parallel simplex, parallel half duplex, and parallel full duplex. If there is a serial simplex transmission mode, then data will be transmitted one bit at a time in a single direction on one wire. If it's serial half duplex, data will be transmitted in both direction on a single wire, but only one bit at a time can be transmitted in one direction at a time. Serial full duplex, data will be transmitted in both direction at the same time on a single wire, one bit at a time. Parallel simplex, multiple wires transmit one bit at a time in one direction. Parallel half duplex means multiple wires send multiple bits of data in a both direction but only one direction at a time. Parallel full duplex, multiple wires send multiple bits of data in both direction at the same time. Please remember these bolded words to mention to understand this definition of each transmission mode. So, we have different advantages and disadvantages according to the modes and directions of transmission. In serial data transmission, data will arrive in same order. It is less likely to have error and it is cheaper over short and long distance. As the cost of wire is fairly inexpensive. But serial data is expensive over a longer distance and it's especially slow. Parallel transmission is fast as long as large quantities of data can be transmitted at one time, but it is expensive over shortest distance and asynchronization is the biggest problem and data is skewed as well. In simplex mode, the simple wires are cheap as only one wire is used and its disadvantage is that it's slower as data still travel one bit at a time in only one direction and it requires two sets of wire for bidirectional transmission. I mean it can become expensive. So half duplex is cheaper than simplex for bidirectional transmission as it requires fewer wire, but it is slower as data travel one bit at a time in only one direction at a time. Full duplex is fastest as data travel in both directions simultaneously but is expensive because wire technology to transmit in both directions is more difficult to implement. So there is a short quiz and a company has a website that is stored on a web server. The company uses parallel half duplex data transmission to transmit the data for the new videos to the web server. Explain why parallel half duplex data transmission is the most appropriate method. Take some time, think about this, and do let me know and comment the answer in the comment section. So that's all for today. If you have any question, concerns, or if you want me to make some video on some specific topic, please do let me know. Write down in the comment section box. If you like this video, please give me thumbs up and do share it with your friends so that everyone can see this video and learn something new. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.